Hey everyone, it's John Gonzalez from MLive.com. Welcome to today's podcast. I'm at MVP Athletic Club in Rockford, Michigan. We're getting ready for the 21st annual Mitchell's Run Through Rockford. That's why we're here. We're going to talk a little training a little later in the podcast. But for right now, for those of you that don't know much about Mitchell's Run and its history, we thought we'd get behind the scenes a little bit, give you some background, and get you excited about this. This is a big event that's coming up here, not only for the Rockford community, but for all of Michigan, the running community, and those that just want to help out this cause. I'm with Lauren. She does the PR and marketing for Mitchell's Run Through Rockford. How you doing today, Lauren?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having us.
Well, thank you for joining us as well. And as I said, getting ready, getting excited. August 21 just seems like tomorrow.
Yes, the race is August 17th.
Coming up. Did I say 21st? Oh, it's the 21st annual, right?
Exactly. So you have two very good numbers there. It's the 21st annual Mitchell's Run Through Rockford coming up on Saturday, August 17th in downtown Rockford.
Did I say August 21st to start out, or did I say the 17th?
You know what? I don't even know, but I think you said August 17th first and then said the 21st.
And then I messed up later. Yeah, that's just me. That's just the way this day's going. But folks, we want you to stick around, listen to this whole podcast if you would please, because if you've ever thought about getting involved and didn't know much about the run, or maybe you want to get into running, we're going to focus a little bit more on the running part of it today. But before we get to that, we got a trainer in the house. I'm a little intimidated because he's all buff. Let's get to a little bit more about this charity.
Yes, so this...
Were you laughing because I said he's buff?
Yes, because Ben is one of my favorite trainers here at MVP, so I'm just looking at him and giggling.
You weren't giggling at 5 o'clock in the morning, though, were you?
Actually, I was. I'm a morning person. So, yes, I was here with Ben at 5:10 for one of my favorite classes here, zone training.
Well, we'll talk about zone training a little bit. I see a lot of activity going on right now, but let's get to that run on August 17th, 2019, here in downtown Rockford.
Yes, this is, so as you were saying, John, this is a very a special race for us. It's the 21st annual Mitchell's Run Through Rockford. It's obviously a very long-standing race in the community and a very well-loved race in downtown Rockford. We're really excited. We have a ton of registrations coming in this year. It's going to be probably one of our largest. And for those of you who don't know, Mitchell's Run, all of the proceeds go for research for Duchenne muscular dystrophy. So all of the race proceeds benefit Parent Project Muscular Dystrophy.
Yeah, PPMD, of course, our friend Anessa Faisenfeld, and of course Mitchell's family too, that have spent so many years in building this race and pulling it all together. It's for a great cause. I know that Anessa was saying last week that you are ahead of schedule. I mean, you could have 1,500 runners here in downtown Rockford.
Yes, absolutely. We're really excited. Anessa is doing a fabulous job with the race this year. We have a new logo, a new website. We have a ton of wonderful sponsors that are helping support the event, and a lot of exciting new changes this year. So even on top of getting T-shirts and some post-race snacks and just having a great time in downtown Rockford, additionally this year every participant will get a medal, and our great sponsor at Rockford Brewing Company, in celebration of the 21st year, is giving all participants over 21 a coupon for a 21-cent beer to celebrate the race after the event.
I don't know. I'm going to dig my pennies out of the back seat of my car and see if I can come up with 21 cents. But it's going to be a great cost. So maybe I'll look for 42 cents or then 63. Does that keep going as 21?
Sure. Let's say it does. But you know what? Maybe bring $1 and maybe they'll donate the rest of it to Mitchell's Run.
Or $2. I go crazy. No, I mean, I love the fact that it's 100% of the money does go to this charity, to PPMD. The downtown race brings an excitement to downtown Rockford. Before we get into the training part, what can people expect from activities and the race course?
Yeah, absolutely. So the race starts at 8:30. The 5K starts at 8:30 right at the Bridge Street Bridge. And then there's also a Kids for Kids run that starts at 9:30. And another really exciting update to this year's Kids Run is that we have superheroes that have always run with the kids. And in addition, this year, the company Royal Arrivals will be bringing Disney princesses to run with the kids as well. So it is definitely a family-friendly event for kids. There's strollers allowed on the 5K, so there's really no reason that the entire family can't come out and have a great morning in downtown Rockford.
So, Ben, if I dress as a superhero, will you dress as a princess? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, I think I could pull off Moana or something like that. She's pretty strong. I think I could handle that.
Okay, I'm more of, what's the girl from Frozen?
Liza.
Oh, well, whoa, see, he knows. Right?
I have a 2-year-old daughter, 2.5-year-old. She's just getting in this, so... We got a lot of Frozen and Moana going on right now.
I shouldn't have been so sexist to assume the woman would know the Frozen characters, right? Yeah, I don't even know. It was on last night, and I was like going, Elsa, yeah. And what's the name of the? Well, forget it. We go Olaf, right? He's a little snowman.
Yeah, the snowman Olaf.
Okay,
yeah.
See?
Yeah, we built Olaf this winter, and Juliet was really excited about it. So.
Fun.
All right. Well, let's talk to Ben here because you are one of the trainers. I'm assuming you're probably the premier trainer, right? That's why they brought you along for this interview.
Sure, we'll go with that. Just don't tell anybody else here.
Ben, how long have you been in this industry?
So I've been here. I've been at MVP actually 8 years, going on 8 years right now. I've been in the industry for a little longer than that, but I graduated from college and got right into MVP right here. So
this is the place that you've kind of you're building your career here.
Yeah. So it's just a great place to be. Great family environment. We have a great team here, and we just love to help our community and to help the members that come in.
Yeah, I'm walking through here. I was kind of like blown away. I've never been into MVP before. Obviously, I've been to some health clubs over the years, and I don't even know if this is the right way to call it a health club because it seems more like the different version of what I've been to before. We could talk about more of that a little later. But for right now, let's focus on the run a little bit. How much your work as a trainer is devoted to cardio? Because running is cardio, right?
Yeah, it's kind of a dichotomy. So you have strength side and you also have cardiovascular side. We at MVP, we really push that we have an inclusive where we're looking at the whole body holistically. So we're going to train you cardiovascularly, getting your heart strong, your lungs strong, but also making sure your body, your joints are strong enough to handle anything you have to come up with in life.
Well, I'm going to definitely spend more time talking to you about that because that's one of the areas that I fail at miserably is the strength side of it. I know, Lauren, you're buff too, so.
Oh gosh, sorry.
So this is no big deal to you, right?
Well, it's because I come to Ben's classes in the mornings here at MVP.
5:15 in the morning, yeah. That's just craziness. All right, so let's put it this way. So as far as me as a runner, I've been running for more than 10 years now, 13 years, 15 years. I started running to lose weight. Like this is a common story, right?
Yeah.
So I lost a lot of weight. At one point, I lost 70 pounds.
Awesome.
But I did it all through cardio, through just running. I didn't do any kind of physical or strength training at all. And I found myself putting the weight back on. I ended up putting like 40 pounds back on of that original 70 that I lost. Right. I've still kept a lot of it, almost half of it down. But I don't run the way I used to anymore. My body's getting older because it's been a few years now. And I would imagine at a community event like this, you're going to get all types of bodies and ages, right?
Yeah, you're going to see anywhere from young kids in their early 20s that just...
I hate those kids, by the way.
That can just show up like 5 minutes before, run the race harder than everybody else, and be fine afterwards. And then you have people who have been active for a long time, that have a lot of knowledge, have been running for a long time, that come in and you'll see them warming up. You'll see them going through a routine. You'll see them getting in, start of the race, and they run extremely hard. And then at the end, you'll see them cooling down and doing stuff afterwards because they know that they have to take care of their body. And then you have people who never ran before, starting off their first time, and that they're going out and just enjoying the day. And hopefully we'll have some great sunshine, but just getting out and moving. The body was designed to move. It feels good when it does. So you'll see a lot of smiles out there too.
That is true, or a lot of crying if you're that sore. I've done both before. But let's kind of talk to those. If you're listening right now, folks, we're at MVP Athletic Club in Rockford, Michigan, and we're talking to Lauren, one of the organizers for Mitchell's Run Through Rockford on August 17th. And then we're also talking to one of the trainers here, Ben, at MVP. Let's talk to to those out there listening that maybe want to come because they want to support the charity, right? Because all the money, as we said, goes to Duchenne to raise awareness and raise funds. 100% of the proceeds will go to that. So they're going, you know what, I want to help out a good cause. I love Rockford. Maybe they're near the area or want to experience Rockford. And they're going to come and they say, you know what, I'm going to come for the first time and I'm going to participate in a 5K. Is there time? Today is July 25th, right? Is there time to get ready for that August 17th race?
Yeah, you can definitely come in and do the race on August 17th. Really where you want to start is where you're at. So if you haven't ran in a long time, start off every day doing a little walking, running mixture. Start off a little bit more walking, a little less running, and then each week, every 3 or 4 days, increase that run a little bit. Maybe you start off at a minute where you're running, 2-minute walk. Minute where you're running, 2-minute walk. And just slowly increase your mileage and slowly increase the distance you're running at one time.
Is there like an ideal amount of, I mean, should you, by race day, should you be able to run 2 miles without stopping at whatever pace you're comfortable with? Should you run the whole 3 mile? Because 3.1 is a 5K, right?
Yep.
So, I've been told different things that, if you keep building, you don't have to run a 3.1 miles, the day before the race, because you probably don't want to do that.
Right. So if you look at professional racers, they will usually take the week or 2 before and they will run less mileage than what they typically do to train. But since we only have a short time, it's okay if you walk the whole thing. That's perfectly fine. Everybody's built differently. Everybody's at a different stage. So it's just going where you're at. If you can't run at all and you're starting off, running a mile would be huge for you. That'd be a great jump in your ability level. So I say no matter where you're at, a lot of us have to check our ego at the door, because I think fear gets to us once when we're looking at a race or an event. We're like, well, we can't do the whole thing, so we just don't participate.
Right.
When really, just by you getting out there and running and starting off, no matter if you ran 5 minutes and then walked and then ran again, you're still doing something great. You're moving the needle forward, as we like to say. So wherever you're at, you can be successful. We just have to define success in the right way.
That's a good point. So you don't really have to finish the race in 20 minutes, right? You can just do it at your own pace, walking around. I love that tip. Don't really, kind of set realistic expectations and get out there and increase your mileage every single week. Now, should you run 3 days a week, 4 days a week? Should you mix it up in different things during the non-running days?
Well, for a lot of people, I would say I would mix it up. So getting a little cross-training, doing some things that are a little different. Maybe one day you do a run, and the next day maybe you just walk a little farther. Maybe the next day you run, and then the following day you do some strength training, or maybe even swim or ride a bike. Just something that works your heart rate up, gets you sweating, really pushes you a little bit. But mixing it up is very good to help reduce chances of injury, but also to help your body learn new skills and abilities as well.
I should ask, Lauren, are you a runner? Are you going to participate, or are you going to be so busy on the day of the race that you're just going to sit back and chill out?
Well, I will be helping out the race. I am a runner. I would like to run. I've run the last couple years. But I've recruited a lot of people, including my mom, who has never run a 5K before. So to Ben's point, a lot of people come out to the event, families and a lot of groups, a lot of the families that are affected by Duchenne in West Michigan all come out, encourage each other, and walk as really big groups. So it's definitely it can be as competitive as you want. We will have those 20-year-olds out there finishing the race in 20 minutes, but we'll also have people walking and taking 60 minutes to finish the course. And there's no right or wrong way to participate.
So you can take up to 60 minutes to finish the race?
Absolutely. Absolutely. And a lot of people do. So it's that's what makes it such a great community event, because the whole point is to come out, challenge yourself a little bit, get to know a lot of the families in West Michigan that are affected by this disease, and really just support the cause. I
think, too, this is why I'm the most excited about doing this race this year, because a lot of the races I've done, like the Riverbank Run or the Bridge Run in downtown Grand Rapids, some of these are in Traverse City or Bay City. I mean, I've done some runs around the state. Lauren's looking at me like, yeah, are you sure you're a runner? No. I have done these runs before. I really have. I have the medals to prove it. But what I think is really interesting, I can't wait for this race, is because I get excited when the people around me are excited. Yeah. For me personally, and I'm sure this is true for all runners, when you're trying to reach a destination and you're struggling, and then there's someone at the corner randomly shows up, and it could be one person just clapping, say, you got this, you can do this, right? I would imagine in Rockford, it's a lot of that.
Oh, it's a ton of that. And one of my favorite things at the race, which I have heard is confirmed again this year, is that halfway through the course, there is a guy who plays the saxophone who actually lived about 5 houses down to where Mitchell's family lived a while ago. And he is just out there rocking on the saxophone, encouraging people. And there's all types of people just being cheerleaders along the course. So it's definitely a motivating environment for people to come out and just push through if you're worried about completing the race.
if you're listening right now and you're going like, hey, okay, maybe this sounds like fun, but I think I need some of that motivation. And Ben, you probably know, just like Lauren as well, is that part of taking care of yourself is yourself telling yourself you need to do it.
Yeah, you definitely have to have a why. What is your why? Why do you want to run? Why do you want to improve yourself? I think we all have inside of us, we have something that motivates us, but motivation doesn't last. So you really have to know why you're doing it. And also just you have to have positive self-talk. I see this in my athletes all the time as they come in. If you believe negatively, then you're going to produce negatively. So if you believe that positively, and that's just practice, just like exercise. The more you do it, the easier it gets. So building yourself up, building others up, and energy produces energy. So when you got people around you that are excited, they're building you up, you're going to feel that energy, and you're going to build others up. And we're just going to pass it on.
So this quick question for both of you guys, and I've heard both ways. What do you guys think about sharing this with friends? Because someone to hold you accountable, is it a good thing or a bad thing? Because like I know when I set out to lose weight from running, that was my why, right? Like, okay, this is getting out of hand, all this eating and drinking, because part of my job, right? Is like I need to like just tone it down and just kind of get my body to where it should be, not to where I have been before. Just, I've been up and down my whole life, and I'm thinking, wow, if I tell someone and I don't reach the goal, they're gonna kind of like, oh, you failed, right? But if I don't tell someone, you almost like need that support system at the same time. So what do you guys think?
Yeah, I think it all comes down to being self-aware of what you need as an individual. So personally, like I think for me, I can kind of do it on my own and be a little bit more self-motivated, but other people might need that support. And I think it's really just reflecting on what you're going to need to really reach your goal.
That's a good point. I know that when I did this a long time ago, I had a buddy in the neighborhood. We just randomly ran into each other at the grocery store or whatever. Okay, it might have been a bar. That's a whole different story. But no, it was at a grocery store. And he just said, like, I've been wanting to work out. I'm like, I've been wanting to work out too. And then he's like, tomorrow morning, 5 o'clock, let's meet. I'll pick you up. I'm like, yeah, right. You're not going to pick me up at 5 o'clock in the morning. And sure enough, he was there to pick me up, right? And then he's like, let's do this like 3 days a week. He goes, this week I'll pick you up. Next week you pick me up, right? And I'm like, all right. So then I started looking forward to that early morning time that he would come by, or I'd have to get up and get motivated to go pick him up. Sometimes we both get together and like, going, you really want to do this? Let's just go to the restaurant and grab breakfast. But then we would fight through it and go work out, right? So what do you think about that, Ben? I mean, do you have someone, do you need a buddy to do this?
Well, I think it's very beneficial to have a buddy. Some people, like Lauren said, are very self-motivated, very disciplined. They can do this. Other people need a little accountability, and a little help, a little shoulder bump. I find that a lot of people like that shared experience, that community, and I think that's something that we have lost and that people really trying to find. And in the fitness world, we see this all the time where we get these small groups of people together, or in one of our classes, that they feed off each other. And so when they're not there, the people are like, hey, we didn't see you today. What's going on? And so it's kind of like you're expecting them to be there. They're expecting you to be there. You're sharing this experience together, which actually helps people come together and bond more.
All right, so any last-minute encouragements? We should give people the website and how to register right before we do that.
Yes, absolutely. It's mitchellsrun.org, and registration is open now and all the way until race day.
All right. Any words of encouragement for someone listening right now that says, you know what, I'm going to do it. I've got a few weeks to train. I'm not sure how to train, but I'm going to tune in for next week's podcast for more motivation. What would you say to those folks?
Yeah, I would say if you are concerned about coming out and participating in the race, if it seems like a really big feat, just think, at the end of the day, you can just walk. Or there's tons of people around that can come pick you up. If at the end of the day, the worst that could happen is that you stop walking and someone brings you to the finish line. So there's really nothing to be scared of. And another thing is just, the whole purpose of the race is to raise awareness for a lot of the boys in West Michigan that are affected by Duchenne. So if they can have the courage to live every day knowing that they're affected by this disease, we can all get out there and walk and run a 5K.
All right, Ben, or should I call you Moana? Because you'll be all dressed up there on the race day. What words of encouragement will you have to someone listening right now?
I would say just go out and do it. I mean, we only have a short time to really experience it, and just think you get to do it. You have the ability, you can do it. A lot of people don't have the option to choose whether they do it or not. So just go out there, have fun. It'll be a great experience. You're going to feel good afterwards, and you'll get to meet some people and just have a good time.
Well, both of you guys hit it right on the spot, because my mom asked me one time a couple of years ago, I just got done doing a 10-mile run because I went home to visit and I had to go on a run. And she's like, how did you just do that? And I'm thinking, 10 miles is just 10 miles, right? But everyone does this. This is no big feat. And she said, but why are you running? And I said, well, I was to run to lose weight, but now I'm running because I'm getting older, right? And I'm thinking, I'm going to do it because I can, right? There's going to come a day, it might happen tomorrow, it might happen next week, it might happen 5 years from now that I can't do it, right?
Yeah.
Or I might not ever have the ability. Like some people just physically can't do it. So while I can, I might as well stay active. So. All right, folks, thanks for joining us on today's podcast. We didn't get to MVP because there's so much here going on. Real quick, tell us a little bit more about the services and how to sign up or how to become a member.
Yeah, so at MVP, we're an inclusive club, so we have a lot of opportunities, a lot of things. So no matter where you're at on your fitness journey, maybe you've never even been in a gym before, come and just walk in and just experience it. Just try it once. So you can come in and just, the best thing to do is just to walk in the door. Even if you walk in the door for 5 minutes, look around, kind of get your bearings. From there, we can guide you and help you in any way that, any goal you have, any ability you're at, we can help you get to where you want to go. And
there are several MVPs around West Michigan, is that right?
Yeah, so there's actually 5 MVPs in West Michigan, and there's one in Rockford, Holland. We have one in Crahan on the east side of Grand Rapids. Then we have Metro downtown, and then Sportsplex, which is off of East Paris.
East Paris, is there a website, you know? Is it MVP?
It'll be MVP Athletic Clubs.
Simple as that. Yeah. All right, let's get out there and do some training right now. Lauren will kick my butt. Thanks again, everyone, for tuning in, and we'll see you next week. 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 We'll see you next week.